Malaysian Pharmacists Society proudly presents the first time ever National Pharmacists Convention 2021 on an immersive platform. With our theme, Exploration, Inspiration, and Transformation of Pharmacy. With the largest gathering of 1,500 pharmacists, 67 national and international speakers, presenting to you scientific research papers, creating a platform for research and development, inspiring young minds, officiated by guest of honor YB Dato Sri Dr. Atam Baba, our Minister of Health Malaysia. Together a very big thank you to our sponsors, our platinum sponsors, gold sponsors, silver sponsors, bronze sponsors, advertisements and lucky draw sponsors. MPS also thank you for your magnanimous support in making MPS NPC a virtual reality. Let's introduce our organizing committee. Our advisor Tuan Haji Amrahi Brom. Our organizing chairman Ms. Bharati Suresh Chan. Our scientific committee chairman Associate Professor Dr. Mogana. Our scientific committee members. NPC Secretary, Ms. Lee Kai Fong and her team. Secretariat, Mr. Lam Kai Kuan and his team. Finance and Sponsorship, Mr. Andrew Tanning Ju and team. Virtual Booth Coordinator, Mr. Tan Chan Wei and team. Virtual NPC Technical Committee, Mr. Lim Jackson and team. Social Media and Marketing, Mr. Paul Chu Shuan and team. Content and Copywriting, Mr. John Chang and team. Registration, Ms. Sharifa Nadia and team. Ebook, Mr. Brian Tan Penghan and team. Protocol, Ms. Cyrene Binti Alwi and team. Training and Development Committee, Ms. Bharati Suresh Chand and team. MPS Virtual Booth, Ms. Lee Kai Fong and team. With love, we welcome and proudly present to you the transformation of NPC from year 2019, 2020, and to the new norm through a new era, the first virtual platform NPC 2021. All of the above, compiled virtually in our magical flip ebook. Are you ready to explore, be inspired and get educationally transformed for memorable and immersive National Pharmacists Convention 2021? Let's begin. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome everyone, and it's just so glad to see you all again for this evening session, and I hope that all of you had your dinners in between sessions just now and that you have a great day so far. So welcome tonight to Nuts and Bolts of Pharmacy as a Business. So this is specially put together for NPC by our chairperson, Madam Bharati, for all of you who are keen to know more about doing business. Pharmacy is an exciting field to be in as it is full of different opportunities, only if we challenge ourselves to think outside the box. So having taken the journey down business and entrepreneurship myself after leaving the employee position as a hospital pharmacist in Sabah, I am personally really looking forward to this session tonight. Thus, I'm very excited that tonight we have got not one, not two, but three very distinguished panelists who come from three very diverse backgrounds, who have three very different insights to share with us tonight. So it gives me great honor to introduce, first of all, Mr. Loh, a fellow pharmacist, come business entrepreneur from Selangor. Ms. Jeanne, leadership intelligence coach based in Penang, land of the wonderful beaches, Char Kway Teow and Asam Laksa. And last but not least, our speaker, Mr. Renato Santos, who is an international consultant for UNCTAD all the way from Brazil. Hola! land famous for its football and samba. So tonight, we would like to start off the session with our first panelist, which is Mr. Loh. Mr. Loh is a registered pharmacist. He's a co-founder and former CEO of Constant Pharmacy. He is also council member of both Malaysian Pharmacist Society MPS and Malaysian Community Pharmacy Guild MCPG. Mr. Loh has been very active in various government committees, such as Good Governance of Medicine, Good Pharmaceutical Trade Practice, Medicine Access from National Medicine Policy Committees, and is also currently serving as a member of the Committee of Inquiry under Pharmacy Board of Malaysia. He is also attached to the Tuzil International Medical Association, also known as TIMA, which works together with the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees in providing medical aids to the refugees living in Malaysia. And today, he shall be sharing with us an overview of business from the perspective of a pharmacist. Over to you, Mr. Loh.
Today, my short presentation is meant for employed pharmacy, who like most of us doesn't have the business degree, is exploring the entrepreneur path, can be from private or public sector, newly started business, and pharmacy graduate or student who are exploring the world of business. You are happily employed pharmacy, but you just want to know more about your bosses, why they make certain decision. I'm not the happily employed pharmacy, but I'm the happily married pharmacy. And for the rest, then we have perhaps leads to the Q&A. Okay, now I break to this section into a few components. First is what? Basically, doing a business is actually providing service or product in exchange of money. Now, I highlight the word money here, especially to my brother and sister in the public sector. Pharmacy, what you do every day is you provide the service to your customer, but you didn't collect money from them directly. Now, when you go out to do business, you got to get comfortable in collecting money from people you serve. Okay, but anyway, I understand that previously the purpose of business is maximization of your wealth, but today changes more focus into the other stakeholders. Who are these stakeholders? First, of course, your customer, then the employee, and you had a fair play with your supplier, like CSR, you know, and now they go for ESG. And then only long-term value to the shareholder like you. So long-term means that basically you put yourself at the least priority among the stakeholders today. And this usually form the company's vision, mission, and purpose statement. Okay. Now, which normally first business idea come out from a pharmacy is community pharmacy business. Now, there's nothing wrong about that, but sometimes we need to be more open-minded to explore other industry as well. Now, I listed some out here. Some are pharmacy related, healthcare related, some are none. But being said that, of course, it will be good if you have some advantages from being a pharmacist, or you have acquired knowledge. But most of us enter into business because we thought that we know something that other people don't know. But now, you know, everybody know what we know. Then networking, like for example, you're working for somebody in the healthcare health supplement business. And over time, you develop some networking. You perhaps had bring certain healthcare or beauty product from overseas to Malaysia. Family background may not necessarily from your parents. Today, maybe your kid who is actually the influencer in YouTube. Maybe you can ride on their influence in selling your whatever healthcare product. Okay. Now, where is hopefully we can look into having a business that not that only you can conduct online, offline, local or global, but also the business model is to be scalability, scalable. It's different from agile. Agile is more a company culture that you move fast toward changes of environment like today's pandemic. But scalable normally means that you have a capability to adapt easily to increase like demand of your product. Suddenly you receive a big order, then can you actually fulfill that without suddenly have to invest too much on that? And for example, taking an example of retail business and also the business software solution provider. Definitely, this when you open up the retail business, one shop, 200,000, you hire 5 staff. When you're going to expand business to the next outlet, second outlet, you may also have to come up with 200,000, also hire about five or another staff again. Okay, but compared to this business software service provider, first headquarter you set up maybe 200,000 together all the costs. But when you expand outside Klang Valley or outside to Singapore, Thailand, or Southeast Asia to China, you don't have to really another 200,000 each expansion, and you may not have to double size your headcount as well. This is talk about also economy of scale, and hope that the business can ride on the current technology development for expansion. Now, we have to look into how a business can actually ride on a technology platform. We know that the cost of doing business through the technology platform is getting cheaper because technology gets cheaper compared to brick and mortar business, like shop that you need a physical shop. You know that the price of property is always going up, as well as the rental. That's why when your business is doing well, that you depend the shop, is best to you to buy over the shop. Okay, you may say that okay, now you may not need so much space anymore, but that doesn't mean that the rental will reduce as well, right? And try to develop this habit. We call it follow the money. Try to be mindful about where did the money come from, about from customer, from which direction, from sales, marketing, and also goes to. You can trace what's the problem the business normally, where the money goes to, other expenses. Okay. The other one is geographical fund movement. If you tend to expand into globally to outside Malaysia, then you have to look into how is the fund movement today. I believe you know that currently most of the fund moving out from emerging Asia market to where? To China, to US, and to European country. Why? Because this country have been doing well in the COVID-19 pandemic recovery compared to Southeast Asia. Okay, and this follow the money also means that you are aware of the market trend. So what the market trend now? The more we are going to more on low touch and no touch. Less investment risk in-store experience means that you are able to provide your customer a feeling of comfortable when they go to your place. You have staff there to control number of visitors into your place. You have this social distancing, so people are more comfortable to visit your shop compared to other places. So other than online, of course, we have this trend called WOPIS, buy online and pick up in store, because your customer may not like to wait for another few more days to the courier service to come to their place, or sometimes may not be at home as well, right? Okay, then we come to who. To the very least extent, you need to know your market. Don't go for a product and service and that only a few people or very small market that need it. Okay. Other than that, of course, understand your position in the competition, who are helping you in the business alley, your supplier, employee, if they need training or there's no need, if you need capital, investor, and also the community. What is the value of the community that you serve? For example, let's say the community you serve is all more into vegan, vegetarian, and you try to sell meat. Of course, that poses some challenge to you, right? Okay, the question that often being asked is that is this the right time to start business? Okay, sometimes I can be very sarcastic and answer them that if you really have to ask, then you are not ready for the opening the business. But in truth, I will see in two ways to answer. One, when there's obviously no. For example, in Myanmar, when they have riots on the street, of course, you want to open a business, I think perhaps can wait for a while, a few months is okay to observe first. But when there's not a big uncertainty, it's not full lockdown, but MCO on and off, and then you have to turn on this entrepreneur mode. While that entrepreneur are unstoppable mode. That's the thing. So entrepreneur, those really are a bunch of policy people, right? Okay. Most people know how to go into the business, but very few actually know how to come out in the out from the business alive, or the well business plan. It can be from succession, pass it on to your children, or sell it to other people. Okay, I'm a bit different. I chose to study pharmacy because I want to open a pharmacy shop to be there doing a business. That's my purpose. So when the first day I opened up the pharmacy business, I already think how to sell it in 10 years time. But I not managed to sell in 10 years time. But luckily, fortunately, I've sold after 20 years. Now, okay. if really you look into going to dispose your business one day, it's good to know that what buyers are looking at, okay? Other than the company strategy, buyer synergy, one of they look into, of course, is the turnover. Now, audited last 3 years and the latest mentioned account now. Why this information is important to you? So that you don't wait until your business is going down here and then you try to look for buyers. You need to plan properly. And sometimes not about just 3 years result they want to see. They also may take about 2-3 years in the process of negotiating to take over your business. So you don't want to wait until your business is going down, then you look for buyers, okay? Because profit, if your company they have much profit, then you try to do something to increase the turnover. Some buyer will focus more on the turnover rather than the profit because they believe when they come in, they can increase your margin as well as the profit, okay? Company structures. Now, for example, your business, the shop belong to you as well. So you may sell a business together with property with a good price. Like one of my friend recently, only last 3 days, last 3-4 days, sold the business from pharmacy business together with property and with multi-million. He seems to be 10 times richer than me now. Next is the talent, of course, the staff and the business price. Now, in terms of business price, most people look into this, how many times of your profit, the PE ratio or profit multiplier. But there are actually many business valuation methods. However, at the end of the day, it's all about willing buyer and willing seller. So all these methods basically just for the buyer's auditor to justify the price as well. At the end, it's still that the price that you're willing to let go and the price that you're willing to buy from you. Okay, how? Of course, you need to know some sales, marketing, have some financial literacy and skill. If you don't have that much, a little bit here and there, it's good for you to consider having coach, get help from mentor, or join some business club. I personally actually engaged coach before in my business journey. I remember 10 years my business, it become plateau. So I engaged actually business coach and we managed to turn around the business. Okay. For business club, I joined with stage where I have networking with a CEO with a few business, like for example, those in import-export, factory, as well as car workshop. So it gave me a very good exposure about how we run the business. Sometimes we share the same human problem, HR problem, market problem, all these things, right? For retail pharmacy or community pharmacy business, if you want to know more, you can check out one of my presentation, which I put into my this YouTube channel. Okay, there are also this in online website. You can find this what you can do or cannot do in terms of business regulation partner from this my government website. The other one, for example, now this PM factor P can use, cannot use. Then you know from here information get it. Most of our business we start out small, so we are fall under SMB small and medium enterprise. So this is a good website to look at. Sometimes they have incentive for those, for example, women entrepreneur or IT based business. You may get some grant there. You can look up on that. Okay. Understand your why, then how will take care of itself. Now, the what is the purpose of the business? The why is your purpose into getting the business. And this usually involves some soul searching, passion, frustration, and pain. As this Anthony Robbins put it, pain normally more powerful motivator than desire to gain pressure. So imagine yourself driving a Lamborghini, sometimes may not be so powerful, more impact compared to if you feel you're going to sleep at the roadside or at the street. So I give you a few examples for this. Some of people, you know them. One is the TJ Parker, the CEO of PillPack, who sold his online pharmacy to Amazon with 1 billion. So what is the why of this Mr. Parker is he just want to make life easier for people to take medicine. Instead of always asking, this is more on making their life easier to take their prescription medicine. Then we have this my case. My case strongly believe that the MTM is this medication therapy management is a pharmacy practice that truly will benefit the patient and carried out by pharmacy. So he concerns that if the policy maker of the country doesn't know about this, then they may use up some other this method for their national healthcare. So he had this strong belief and he make it in the business. Then we have Dr. BT. Dr. BT is finding there's a lacking in the school that never promote student to do business, and as well as I think financial literacy as well. So he come out, build this Pharmapreneur Academy to teach pharmacy, especially pharmacy, how to conduct a business. And then for the rest of us, I think we just want the money. Some of you may say, I am Mr. Loh, you say all these things, basically we all just want the money. Why you don't know? Okay, I think there's nothing wrong. When I start a business also, this is what I want. I just want the money. I'm not trying to change the world or save the world, okay? It's fine, but bear in mind, every business have their cycle. So not many business can last more than 20 years like that. And you yourself also will not be forever young, okay? So I think it's fine, but it's best to set a mild target. To set that, you need to know what to do with the money, and also set the deadline for you to achieve financial freedom. Financial freedom here is a financial position where you don't need to work unless you want to. Why? Because you don't want that, you chase 1 million after million, that's provided of business is very good. Then at the age of 80 years old, you sit on the rocking chair, a wheelchair, counting your 18 million US dollar. Then you ask yourself, what a life, right? So you don't want that, okay? Okay, now move to my last slide. I just want to share what mentioned by one prominent entrepreneur. He said this. One, I was invited to speak on work-life balance for entrepreneur. I told the audience that yes, entrepreneurs should and can strike a work-life balance. Later that night, I apologized to them that I think of my business even sitting on the toilet bowl. I have this experience as well. I don't know about those entrepreneurs out there. I realized that an entrepreneur should not seek such a balance and be fine with this reality. This is by book. This is by Jack Ma. Okay, so I didn't say that all entrepreneurs can't, achieve a work-life balance, but sometimes you have to mentally prepare for this and don't look at it as something bad. You just have to accept it, and it's all right for that. Of course, don't wait until you're 80 years old. So with that, I would like to thank you. This is my presentation today. Okay, so Susan, pass to you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Loh, for sharing what you've shared. And I understand that earlier on there was a technical difficulty, there was no sound. So I would like to read out your CV again so that our audience would know better about your background, Mr. Loh. So Mr. Loh, he's a registered pharmacist like all of us participants at NPC, but he's a co-founder and former CEO of Constant Pharmacy. And he's also a council member of both the Malaysian Pharmacist Society and Malaysian Community Pharmacy Guild. And he has been very active in various government committees such as GGM, GPTP, and DUNAS. And he's also serving as a member of the Committee of Inquiry under the Pharmacy Board. Apart from business and pharmacy work, he is also very involved in social work through TIMA, where he works together with UNHCR in providing medical aids to refugees living in Malaysia. So today you have heard how he has shared with us an overview of business from the perspective of a pharmacist. So Mr. Loh, I have one question for you. Can you let me know what is one of the most challenging things you have faced personally as a pharmacist, entrepreneur, businessman?
One of the greatest challenges.
Yes, the greatest.
Actually, I have many challenges. I don't really have one biggest challenges. I think maybe I'll put that as whether to expand or not to expand. Sometimes the business is doing well, you have earned enough, you're happy with the money, but you keep seeing that people are spending. So that fear of losing out, the FOMO is coming there, and less of a fear of missing out, FOMO can come up. Sometimes you have this challenge whether you should actually or not opening more and more outlets. I think that's always the business decision that we had to make. You have to understand that the business, sometimes you may be very good in doing sales, business marketing, but one single management error you make sometimes can bring a great disaster.
Thank you so much, Mr. Loh, for sharing. So our participants, if you're viewing us from the platform or even in YouTube, do feel free to ask questions. You can type in your questions in the YouTube chat and we can address it together at the end of the whole session. And we would like to move on to our next panelist. We are very honored to have with us Jeanne Ooi. She's a leadership intelligence coach with the Spark Group Asia. And she's a certified coach with Marshall Goldsmith, John Maxwell team, and affiliated with Conversational Intelligence and International Society of Neurosemantics. She has over 25 years of working experience in small and medium-sized enterprises and also multinational companies across Asia. She's experienced in business development, general management, strategic human resources, leadership training, and coaching. And she has won the Business and HR Award Catalyst for companies. Apart from that, she's passionate about helping people reach their destinies as leaders and coaches. And she is the lead mentor for Penang Women Entrepreneurs Mentoring Program. So let's put our hands together to welcome Jeanne.
Thank you so much, Susan. Let me get my slides up. All right. Well, I'm just so glad to be here with all of you tonight at your convention. So I can imagine all these pharmacies having a whole day from morning 8 o'clock, I heard, all the way until now. So just relax and ask us all the questions you have. So glad to be here. So what I thought I could share is more on how you can empower your business as well as leadership intelligence. So I'm so glad that Mr. Loh shared his, real life experience with us. And I'm also so glad to hear that Mr. Loh had engaged a business coach along the way to help him to scale up. And he, advocates for all the different help that we all need in businesses, like mentors and being with organizations that can help us, like Vistage and many other business organizations. So here I am. Yeah, just quickly to introduce myself and what we do, because I think I'm here to share with you all the different things that I think business owners need to have, right? So the Spark Group Asia is a coaching firm in Asia, and we are growing our firm in order to help people to build businesses and to understand how to also elevate your leadership, right? So these two are very important. So I've come to realize after coaching for about 10 years now, full time. And prior to that, I was also doing it in corporations. I've come to realize you cannot split business from leadership, right? So I want to share more about what I mean by that. So very quickly, these are all the things that are free and available to all of you. So I just want to show you, we have YouTube channels that you can go into. So just look out for the Spark Group Asia. We have webinars that we do every single week. So I talk about leadership intelligence, how to be a coach, how to be a leader, what it takes to unstuck your leadership growth. We also have a Mandarin speaking coach, where we do the same webinar topics in Mandarin, right? Yeah, and we, since last year, has been talking a lot about how to be resilient. So we've also come to realize that it's good if you have a business, it's good if your business is established and scaling up. But when a pandemic comes, when something like an emergency comes, are we resilient enough, right? So we have actually created new programs to help business owners and leaders to be resilient. So do join us in our webinars where you get to hear more about how to be resilient, right? So just connect with us. There's just a lot of things happening in our Facebook and LinkedIn channels every single week. All right, so on my side, as a business coach, as a leadership coach, I do both. And at the same time, I'm also an HR manager. So what I want to share with you is, how to actually achieve the massive goals that you have for yourself, right? So you see over here, you got to have dreams. Then from the dreams, you got to convert them into goals. And then from those big, big goals that you have, you're not going to get anywhere if you don't have proper plans, right? So I would say you got to have a very solid business plan. So for those of you who have not started your own pharmacy business, start with a proper business plan, right? So I'll talk a little bit more about that after this. What is a business plan? For those of you who already have an established business, you want to scale up. It's time to move, to many branches or even create your own chain. You still need a new business plan, right? And finally, what are your detailed action steps, right? So DGPA, you got to have it all the time. You cannot say, I only have actions. I don't know where I'm headed. I hope and pray that you'll be well. It won't be well. Right? So we got to have actions, got to have plans, got to goals. But let me say this also to those of you who say, oh, okay, don't think too much. I just want to make some money. I'm just going to survive. I have my 1-year goal. I think it's good enough. It won't be good enough, right? You got to have your dreams. So if you say, how long should I dream? I think you got to dream at least 5 years. If not, dream for 10 years, like Mr. Loh, right? Exit plan, 10 years. If you don't make that, you will get it soon after that, right? So let me quickly start with what is a business plan. So I just put this up for those of you who have seen the business model canvas, you know what it talks about. But if you have never seen this before, right? This is a business plan that you need to have. So I put the numbers there to show us where we need to focus on first. So for all those of you, it's like, yeah, show me the money. You're right. We start with the revenue stream. What kind of shop, what kind of business do you want to have? What kind of product lines do you want to have? What kind of service lines do you want to have? What kind of packages you want to have? All that is in your revenue streams, right? So your revenue stream has to hit, I would say, a minimum of, my goodness, can I say 200K a year to start off? For retail, it's got to be $500,000, huh? Right? You can ask Mr. Loh that question later. What's that bottom must hit? What's that revenue for a startup pharmacy, right? That you must hit. Then we got to know our cost structure. So what you see at the bottom of this business plan is the rock bottom of every business. You got to know how much revenue, you got to know how much everything costs. If you lose touch of this, you are almost kind of like floating in the air, right? So number 3 is nothing but understanding your customers. You got to know your segment. You cannot say everybody is my customer. So if you're a neighborhood pharmacy, who's living in that neighborhood? Are you serving the families or are you serving the elderly? Who? From there, you will be able to understand how to serve your customer and, build that relationship with them. And then we go into number 4, which is your value proposition to your business segment, right? So if I'm serving the elderly, I am going to come up with all kinds of propositions to make the elderly come to my pharmacy. And I may even go to their house, right? And next, we will get into the nitty-gritty stuff, which is the key activities, the key resources, and the key partners that we need to connect with. So at this juncture, I also want to say that you cannot do business alone. You cannot walk alone. The more people you're connected with, the more people you're collaborating with, the stronger your network will be, right? So I want you to imagine like a spider web. You got to build your network really strong. So those of you who are thinking of doing business on your own, but now you're working for someone, start your network now. Start it now. Don't wait until when you want to start business, then only you start your network. It'll be too late, okay? So this is the management stuff that I wanted to share with you. We got to align the big picture of what you want, your dreams, your goals, and all of that. And it looks like this. You see the word vision, mission, culture, outcomes, goals, strategies, right? These are the big things that you want to go towards. So the things in red, you gotta have them. But at the bottom, you see the things in blue, which is like tactics and action plans. These are the how to get to the big goals that I have. How do I get to my mission and my vision? All of these are very important. We have to integrate the big picture from the top all the way down to the action plan of that individual that is working in your pharmacy. Okay, so to make it a little bit more complex, right? I put this down because I want each one of you to know that we got to have all these things, 1 to 12, in order to actually have everything in place to run a business on a consistent basis. Okay, so you start from 1 and you take it all the way down to 12. That's the way it flows. You don't start with the day-to-day at the bottom and you move your way up. So the best thing is to really think about where you want to go long-term, and then think about how you want your people to work. What is the culture, right? So I've had the privilege of, pharmacy friends who are in business as well. And I know when you start your business, you can get busy very, very fast, right? And you won't have time to think about all these big strategic things. But take note, you got to spend time thinking about all these big things, right down to who you want on your organization chart. And then going down to all this nitty-gritty stuff, right? So these are what I guess coaches can help you with, or business mentors can help you with as well. And I'm sure all the senior pharmacist business owners like Mr. Loh can help you as well, right? So next, I want to just shift our attention from business to when you want to scale your business. It's not so much about the management and the daily operations. Says here, Zig Ziglar says, if you want to build a business, you actually don't build a business. You build the people, and then the people build the business. So from your focus, which is on the business, the money, the revenue, the cost, the day-to-day operations, now your focus has to change from that to the people that you have inside. Can the people give you the results that you want, right? So in business, we talk about this. Are you working in or on the business? As you're scaling your business, right? So working in the business is just busy with the daily things. As a pharmacy owner, I know you do everything from opening the shop to closing the shop, and from calling the vendors, the suppliers, to actually meeting your customers, you know, and right down to opening and closing your cashier, right? That's working in the business. You are busy with a job. But when you're a business owner, you cannot be busy in the business. You got to be on the business, because if you're in the business, you cannot see like what this captain of the ship can see, right? So you got to be aware of what's ahead of you. You can remove roadblocks. You can decide with a clear mind, and you are able to inspire and motivate other people, right? So we say that this is way beyond just doing a job. This is about strategy. It's about moving the ship into the direction that you want. So the biggest thing I want to share with all of you is leadership is very, very important. If you have a bigger business or you're thinking about doing a bigger business now, you got to think about, are there people who are holding you accountable, right? So I'm not saying that everyone got to get a coach, but I do want to say that everyone should get a coach, because the coach gets you to your destination faster than if you were to walk on your own, right? So there are many things out there that we don't know. And many people can lead us to the answer faster if we will start asking around. And what I found in my experience is many people who don't get this right from the start end up burning out. Your light just burns bright, but then it starts flickering, and there are many that decides to give up. So if you have people who hold you accountable to all the different areas that are important for business and leadership, you will not burn out, right? So how do you lead your team that's growing, right? So I put this up to show all of us that we are like this iceberg you see here. There are things going on top, which are all our daily actions that we can see. But there's lots of things that's going on at the bottom that nobody can see, that's deep within your heart, deep within your internal processing engine every day, right? So your skills, what you believe, what's your values, what's important to you, what you think you are, actually drives what's above. So people burn out because they do not take care of what's below the iceberg. Yeah. So I'm sharing this with you because it's very real. I coach people in all kinds of businesses. And this is building the bottom part is more important than just building what you can see above, right? So I want to share with you that there are many assessments out there in the market. This is just an assessment that we have, but you can get many assessments to help yourselves. Don't need to go figure out answers on your own anymore. We have more than enough answers for you. Just got to go to the right person, right? And this is very common now. You can see people say, oh, you can 10x your business, right? You can, you literally can, right? So again, help yourself, but you got to start with yourself, right? So these are the key areas that I want us to focus on. These three things happen every single day. How we execute, how we make decisions, how we review and learn at the end of the day. Do you spend enough time doing this so that you're aligned to your dreams, your goals, and your actions? Or you keep saying, I don't have time to do this, right? So if I can give you a high-level formula for success, of course, success is defined by you, but there are two ingredients here. One is your identity, the other one is your actions. Your identity is who you are, and your actions is what you do. We are very busy doing things, but let me remind us, we are human beings and not human doings, right? So we got to take care of both parts, the being and the doing, so that you can be successful and have what you need to have, okay? And this is my last slide, just to sum it up, and it talks about teams. So you may know, people talk about leadership and management. What's the difference? So you see the bottom axis is about performance. When we manage to get a certain result or certain performance, that's called management. It's very operational. We're managing the task of buying and selling and everything in between. Leadership is on the vertical axis, which is called meaning of work, the value, the satisfaction. The leadership part has nothing to do with the task. It has everything to do with people. Okay, so we got to take care of the tasks. We got to take care of the people. We got to do both management and leadership, right? So I'm not going to go into the details of this, but literally we can break it up into 4 quadrants of people you have in your team. But we are trying as managers, as leaders, to move them all the way up to the star quadrant up there. And there is a certain step, I guess, that can get you there, right? So again, just sharing this so that you can plot your people in the right spaces, and you can ask yourself, what should I do to get them there? So my suggestion is help them to perform first, and then help them to have high meaning working with you. They'll go like, yeah, I love your brand. I love being with you. You know, I love being with your company. Right. So this is a business coaching club that we do. And I'm sharing this with you because we've come to realize business owners are very lonely. But I want you to know that there are clubs out there that you can join, right? Like this one that we have. Mr. Loh also said you can join this stage, and there are many more out there. Okay, please help yourselves. And finally, I just want to announce this because TSG Asia is giving away 3 vouchers for what we call the future of work. The name of the program is Forward, right? Forward. This is a program that we're really excited, and we're launching it next month. So there will be 3 lucky winners that the organizers will be giving this to. And the program is a 3-month coaching program, right? So I don't know how NPS is doing this, but it will be given away to the lucky winners out there, right? So I'm just sharing with a couple of pages what is all of this, right? So what we found is right now, with all the changes that's happening, people are struggling in self-management and collaboration. So it's these areas that we want to help people in so that people can become more resilient as you move on in your business. So again, if you follow the World Economic Forum research, they call out the top 15 skills that we need for to run our business, to run our departments. And you can see here that the 3 skills in green, talk about leadership and how we would manage our teams. So again, I want to call out that these are very important topics. How we manage emotions, a very important topic. How to be resilient, very important topic, right? So take note of that. And these are common leadership challenges we have seen over the past year. Very common. So if you're not sure why you need to be in leadership and why that's important, this is why it's important. All right, so the Forward program for all those lucky winners, this is the program that you will be in. You'll get the knowledge, you'll be held accountable, you will be able to measure your pre and post leadership resilience factors, and we will also have this reinforcement pillar where you will have monthly surveys for recognition, and there's gamification as well, right? So that's my quick sharing. So all the best to all of you. Yeah, so reach out to us if you want to connect more, the Spark Group Asia. Right? Thank you. Over to you, Susan.
Thank you so much, Jeanne. I really enjoyed your talk. That was very inspiring. And some of you in the chat in YouTube, you're asking, how would you know whether you win? You're one of the 3 lucky winners for the mentoring session. Well, the organizing team for NPC will be in touch with you because they know who is tuning in for the session tonight. So Jeanne, I have got one question for you. You have mentored so many entrepreneurs and business people, and I'm sure that they all come in with a particular mindset or a particular worldview, which I think you will help to change along the way in order that they become better leaders or better business people. So what is one misconception or mindset challenge that a lot of business people or entrepreneurs have when you first meet them?
What's the challenge in terms of mindset is that they can do everything on their own. So I think that would be the first one I call out. I find that entrepreneurs are gung-ho people, very assertive. They think, I can do it, I can do it. And the whole world is telling them, you can do it. So when they finally get into business, they realize it's not so easy, but they're still trying their best. I can do it. The tough gets tougher, okay? So that mindset actually doesn't help them. It actually breaks them down. So the opposite of that mindset is reach out. There are plenty of help around. There are many seniors that have gone before. They can get you there faster if we were to have a network. So I say that's the first mindset. You cannot do it alone.
Thank you very much, Jeanne, for the insight. Thank you so much. So ladies and gentlemen, I would like to now introduce our third speaker for tonight. He is Mr. Renato Santos. Mr. Renato, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Yes.
Great, great to see you, Renato. So Renato is our special international guest speaker. He comes all the way from Brazil, the land famous for football and samba. And we all know that the Euro is happening this weekend, and I'm sure a lot of pharmacists will be staying up watching the football after this. Yeah, so Renato, he is an international consultant for UNCTAD, which is a United Nations agency focused on economic development. He's a co-author of the current version of Empretech, the main global entrepreneurship development program, which is applied in over 50 countries, 50 countries. He's also an entrepreneur himself. He runs Moai Investments, a Brazilian VC with assets in retail, innovative startup, and also social impact. So it's a great privilege for us to hear from Brazil. Renato from Brazil. Renato is still in Brazil. He's not in Malaysia, and I think it's about 9:30 a.m. over there. So good morning. Over to you, Renato.
Thank you very much, Susan. Good evening to you all. First of all, it's a great pleasure to be here with you tonight. And it was also a great privilege to listen to Loh and to Jeanne speak about their experiences and their concepts that they have brought us. Thank you very much for that. So with no further delay, I will start sharing my screen with you, and then we move directly to the content that I intend to share with you tonight. After that, I'll be, like my colleagues, available for further questions that you have. So sharing the screen, just a minute, please. Whoops. Susan, can you please confirm to me you see it on presentation mode?
Yes, okay. I see something like gray in color.
Yeah, that's it. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So, what would be our point of discussion tonight? I would like to share with you 3 different topics on the matter of entrepreneurship, and to help you answer what a pharmacist needs to know about business before starting one, or even before starting a corporate career, because more and more large companies and corporations will demand from their employees that are ready to run the business as if they were owners. So this is a topic that concerns not only the people that would like to go into business on their own. This is also important for your future careers in corporations, and I believe that in the near future, not so far from us now, it will be even important for the ones who want to work for the government. So this is a very important topic for your future outcomes. What a pharmacist needs to know about business. And in order to answer that, let's first begin with an American very famous author, Alvin Toffler, who uses to say that in this century that we are today, in the 21st century, I'm sorry for this, the illiterate will be the ones incapable of learning, unlearning, and learning again. This is because the speed in which the market moves will demand new abilities every time. Every 3 or 4 years, the business scenario changes so much that it will demand from yourselves new abilities, new capacities, and new approaches to the challenges that you are going to face. And since our brain is not large enough to get all the information available, it will be important to learn how to unlearn what you have learned, the procedures, the methods, the decision-making processes that you have learned, and how to incorporate new ones. So this is a very important skill. This is actually dealing with the future, being able to deal with new oncoming scenarios that we're going to face from now on. So this is something that you should keep in mind all the time. Perhaps some of you that are with us tonight are university students. Please be aware, whatever you are learning now will be useful only on the first years of your career. Even if you go to a technical career, it will be useful just on the first years. You have to keep on learning more and more and changing the way you work. If we look back to 2000, let's say 2011, 10 years ago, the way we use it to do business is already very different from the way we do business today. Mainly because of communication and internet protocol tools, the way we do business, the way we have to act to become successful has changed a lot. And imagine 20 or 30 years from now, since the speed of change is actually increasing, things will change even faster. So being able to unlearn and learn again is going to be an extremely important skill and tool for all of you. Keeping studying and learning more during your entire life will be part of your duties as a successful professional, regardless if you go to business or not, if you start a new company or not. So this is a very important message before we start discussing the 3 topics I brought to you tonight. So the first one of them, when I was introduced by Susan, she told you that I am an UNCTAD consultant, a consultant for the United Nations. So a first question that I would like to answer to you before you even ask is, why is are the United Nations concerned about entrepreneurship? Why is this topic so relevant for an international agency like the United Nations? And the answer for that is that the UN is not concerned about entrepreneurship. It is concerned about development. And it turns out that the most successful, powerful, reliable way of developing a nation is by fostering entrepreneurship. When we talk about fostering entrepreneurship, when we talk about stimulating and helping young people to get into business, actually we're talking about developing the economy, bringing more revenue, bringing more income, bringing more money and circle economy inside the nation. And when we talk about that, we're also talking about empowering communities. We're also talking about making cities, villages, small communities more powerful in economic terms. And finally, if we have this kind of environment set, we're talking about empowering individuals. So this is the reason why talking about business is so important for the development, the social, environmental, and economic development of any nation. So this is not a matter only about yourselves. This is about the future of Malaysia. This is about the future of humanity. When we discuss what are the important skills, what are the important behaviors, what is the important knowledge that any of you should have to be successful as a business person, okay? This is a first topic I would like to approach. When we discuss that, we're talking about social privilege. We're talking about social service. We're talking about developing your community. Business owners are not selfish people. Business people are not thinking only about themselves. By working in their affairs, by developing their small companies or even large companies, they're actually taking their communities and their environments to a better level in the near future. And there will be no other profession rather than the entrepreneur that is more capable of producing such impact. That's why fostering entrepreneurship is so important for economic development. So this is one thing a pharmacist should know about business. This is a very noble activity that will produce severe and important impact in the community where you choose to endeavor, where you choose to start your enterprise. So this is something you all should consider very seriously as a future topic, as a future career option, becoming a business owner or starting a new venture. But there is more than only that. Let's understand another important issue, another important question. What is the key for a successful business? How could you start, and what is the main important fact, the most important factor? What are the main aspects that you should consider to start, develop, and run a successful business? And this is a very easy answer. The key, the most important factor for a successful business is the entrepreneur. I mean, I'm talking about you. I'm talking about yourself. I'm talking about not you as a person, but your behavior, the way you act, the way you perform, whatever, the way you conduct your affairs is the most important factor for the success of any business. If we take just 2 minutes to wander together here, you will probably notice that in any sphere, in any field of business, you probably have heard of extremely successful people and major failures in any sphere of business. So you probably know people who have started internet companies, either small or large companies, and have failed. But probably you also know that the most successful entrepreneur in the world today is running an internet company. But the most successful entrepreneur in the world today, measured by his assets, we're talking about Jeff Bezos from Amazon, is running a marketplace. And there are several small young entrepreneurs who start small marketplaces every year and fail. Why does that happen? Probably the behavior of the entrepreneur in charge of the business is the factor that has made more difference for starting a successful culture and making the business grow. So your behavior is a key aspect for the development of your business. And the development of your business is a key aspect for the success and the development of your nation. And the development of your nation is a key aspect for the development of the whole world. That is why the United Nations are so concerned about that. And when we talk about your behavior, we're not talking about general issues or general characteristics. Actually, once the world got to notice that the most successful countries are the ones where there are more entrepreneurs acting on the economy. So a survey has proved that a survey conducted in the 1950s, so we're talking 70 years ago, has proved that the strongest correlation between the success of the economy of a nation and any other aspect, education, the size of the GDP, the number of people in cities or in the countryside, and many other aspects. There is no stronger correlation between economic success for a nation and the number of entrepreneurs working in that economy. So in the 1950s, the richest nation, the wealthiest nation in the whole world was the nation that had more entrepreneurs working in their economy, the highest percentage of entrepreneurs among the population. And it is true up to today. And the nation that is booming and getting to overcome the United States as the wealthiest economy in the world is also the nation where the percentage of entrepreneurs working in the economy is growing faster. So we see that having entrepreneurs conducting their companies is a strong fuel for the development of a nation. And for the enterprise to be started and to become successful, the behavior of the entrepreneur is the most important issue. So learning that, the United Nations in the 1960s, 10 years after this initial survey, conducted another one. What are the key aspects that differ, that make a difference between successful entrepreneurs and regular ones, or failed entrepreneurs, or even people who are not entrepreneurs at all? What is the difference among the way they act, the way they behave, that makes some people more successful than other people when conducting a business? And this survey, that was the United Nations were responsible for the survey, but it was conducted by the Harvard University in the United States, by one of the most famous psychologists of all time, because he was responsible for developing, he was one of the fathers of organizational psychology. We're talking about Mr. David McClellan, already deceased. This gentleman was responsible for conducting a survey that was aiming to understand what are the behavioral traits among the successful entrepreneurs that are different from the ordinary people, from people who are not successful as entrepreneurs. And he came out with 3 different clusters of behaviors with 10 different competencies that make successful entrepreneur different from regular entrepreneurs or from the rest of the people. One of these behavioral clusters talks about achievement. Entrepreneurs are driven towards achievement. So they are driven to make their dreams happen, to make their will come true. They're always acting towards making their wishes become reality. So it's a different approach than actually longing or dreaming. It's working to put it in practice. There is a very famous, this term, entrepreneurship, was created by an Austrian economist called Johann Schumpeter, and he used it to say that the entrepreneur is the person that works today to accomplish tomorrow what he or she has dreamed yesterday. So entrepreneurs are always thinking about the future and working in the present to make to achieve, to accomplish what they have thought about. So this is a major concept that is very important. And I'd like to ask you to think about yourselves for a bit. How much of your time do you spend thinking about what you want to accomplish in the future? And remember, this is different. Thinking about what you want to accomplish is actually thinking about the process of building it, not only thinking about the outcome, not thinking only about what you are going to do once you are extremely rich or once you have a very successful company, but how you are going to get there. So entrepreneurs not only dream about it, think about it, plan for it, but they actually act to make these dreams come true. So this is an extremely important trait among entrepreneurs. They are driven to achievement. They want to accomplish their wishes, their dreams. We're coming to goals in a couple of minutes, but they want to accomplish what they think about. So it's not only dreaming, it's also working towards what you want to achieve. But there is one thing more. They are also extremely strong on planning. And there is a difference when we talk about planning and when we talk about dreaming of what you are thinking about what you want to achieve or to accomplish. Planning is something that does not concern only the entrepreneur, only the person. It is also used to influence people around him or around her. So entrepreneurs are also able to put their dreams in reasonable terms that are understandable by other people. So as important as it is to have a clear vision of what you want to accomplish, it is to put it in reasonable terms for other people to understand so that you can gather help from other people to accomplish your dreams, your plans, and your goals. So what is the difference between a goal and a dream? The difference between a goal and a dream is that a goal is clear enough for you to communicate. You perhaps have several dreams in your mind, but it is hard to communicate them to other people. And it will be impossible for you to gather help to accomplish what you want if you cannot communicate it in clear terms. So it's important to set deadlines, to make it measurable, to make it specific so that other people that are working with you are able to help you accomplish that. Entrepreneurs usually have either partners or employees who will fully dedicate to help them accomplish what they dream, what they are longing for. And since they are able to transform their dreams into clear ideas that make sense into plans and become goals, they're able to gather the help that they want to accomplish what they need. So think about that for a minute. I understand that I believe that some of you that are with us here now already work in either large or small companies. It makes no difference for this point. You already work for someone else. Think about how clear your boss's goals are clear for you. Think about that, how clear they are for you and how your energy is entirely focused in developing or working towards these goals. Probably, if you are asked, what is the goal that you should help your boss or your company accomplish in the next quarter? What is the goal that you are working towards? Perhaps in the same team, there will be different, even if we're talking about a small team, 4, 5, 6 people, there will be different replies to this question. And this is what successful entrepreneurs are keen on not allowing. When we talk about successful entrepreneurs, they usually are very clear on communicating a single message, a direct message of what they want to accomplish. And this helps employees, suppliers, partners, other collaborating companies to help them achieve what they want. So they're good in achievement and they're good in planning. But finally, they're also good in influencing other people towards what they want to accomplish. So the third layer is that entrepreneurs are extremely good in connecting with other people and having these people help them to accomplish what they want. So they are good in foreseeing the future that they want to build and working towards building this future. They're also good at in putting these ideas in reasonable terms that are communicable to other people so that they can gather the help that they need. And finally, they're good at influencing others towards helping them to accomplish what they want. You see, there is no technical skill. There is no different intelligence. There is no other level knowledge that will take entrepreneurs to become successful. Entrepreneurs are good in knowing what they want, working, taking it seriously and working towards what they want, putting it in reasonable terms so that other people understand, and gathering other people's help to accomplish what they want. This is what the most successful entrepreneurs worldwide do. This survey that was conducted initially in the 1960s is usually run again. Usually it's taken again every 3 or 4 years in different countries around the world with different levels of entrepreneurs, successful entrepreneurs, not so successful, large companies, SMEs in different cultures. We're talking about Africa, Asia, Latin America, Europe, the Middle East, North America, in different parts of the world, in different cultural perspectives. So this survey is taken in Israel, and it's also taken in Palestine, neighbors but completely different cultures, in the West and in the East, and usually the very same outcomes emerge. Entrepreneurs, successful entrepreneurs, have these 3 behavioral clusters that are different from the regular people. They are good at working towards what they want, putting what they want in reasonable terms so that they're able to communicate to other people, and influencing other people to help them to accomplish what they want to accomplish. As simple as that. Think a bit about yourself. When was the last time you worked towards a goal or something that you dreamed that needed other people's help? Not only the things that you can do on your own. The last time you worked towards accomplishing something that needed other people's help. Were you good at communicating to these other people, to the other persons that you wanted to help you? Were you good at communicating what you wanted? And were you good at persuading these people to help you with what you wanted? This is what entrepreneurs do. As simple as that. And you see, when entrepreneurs are really good, they get people to help them, willing to help them. And when everything is over, these people want to help them again, either because they made money out of that, or because it was a funny journey, or because they found purpose on what they were doing. There are several different ways to bring people to help you. But entrepreneurs are very good in understanding what drives other people and exchanging the help that they need for giving back what other people want. So again, it might seem too simple, but it is as simple as that. And there is one more thing I would like to share with you, the third topic of our conversation, because although it is simple, so it's knowing what you want and working towards it. Being able to put it in clear terms so that other people can understand, and being able to influence other people to help you. But there are, in this large world where we live, there are many, many entrepreneurs doing that exactly now. What should you as a pharmacist in Malaysia know or learn to be successful as one more entrepreneur in this large world? There is one important thing that you should have in mind to become special as an entrepreneur. And there is a word that we are all very used to listen to, but which I would like to approach a little closer tonight. It is innovation. This is how you may become special. Innovation. Innovation. I couldn't stress this more. But in the world that we live today, let me tell you something about when I started. I am now 46 years old, and I've been an entrepreneur since I was 19, still as a college student. When I was in college, this word was quality. We were going through the quality revolution, and only companies who were able to deliver more and more quality would be successful in the future. And today, when we speak about quality, it's no longer a differential. It's no longer an aspect that stands out from other companies. If you don't have quality, you simply are not able to compete. Today, you must not be better or cheaper or faster than your competitors. Today, you must be different. So this is the challenge that you guys that are here with us tonight are going to face in the upcoming years. How to become different. It's not only, like I said some minutes ago, it's not only knowing what you want, working towards it, being able to communicate and getting other people to help you. You also must figure out how to be different. But you see, being different is not enough, because many people develop new devices or new ideas that are entirely different. But this is to be an inventor, not an innovator. Innovators are able to develop new ideas that connect to the market's needs. So this is a challenge that you should also be able to face. And you must be able, when we talk about innovation, to connect to what the market needs, to what your customers need. And there are three aspects that we should consider when we talk about that. First of all, you should understand the market that you want to connect to. Let's go through this a little bit. I was telling you that entrepreneurs know what they want, are able to communicate and gather help to do what they want to do. But companies are actually groups of people that are serving other groups of people. This is what companies are. Companies, if you think just a bit, they do not actually exist. There are ideas, concepts that we have in our minds. But at the end of the day, a company is a group of people that works to serve another group of people. And the most successful companies are the ones who take less people to serve more people. So if we talk about the most successful companies worldwide, they have thousands of employees, but they serve millions, billions of people. So when you are, if you're building a successful company, you will be able to serve much more people using the efforts of less people working together with you. I know it might sound a little strange, but it is precisely that. And the way entrepreneurs are able to do that is by understanding the market where they wish or want to work. Understanding what are the needs, what are the wishes, and what are the holes in the market that they may explore. What is a market hole? It's an opportunity where your competitors, the other suppliers, the other companies that are working in that market are providing solutions, but there is a hole, there is a specific desire, wish, or need of the customers that has not yet been accomplished, or that has not yet been provided. Entrepreneurs are keen in understanding the market and finding the small holes where they can fill the gap and provide a good solution and serve a specific target group of people. So understanding the market, understanding the customer, understanding the region where you are working is extremely important to avoid running into a stronger competitor who probably serve the customer better than yourself, and at the same time getting a piece of the market where no one is working at. Getting your own blue ocean. We'll talk about that in a couple of minutes. Getting your own blue ocean. So entrepreneurs are keen in understanding the market. But more than that, they're keen in building a relationship with the market. They're good in providing solutions that are so easy to be used, either because they are not that expensive or because they are very easy for you to purchase or to decide to use or to test, that the relationship is almost automatic, that it's very easy for the customer to connect with. So think a bit about the companies that you use to purchase from. Probably you purchase from these companies, regardless what kind of good, what kind of service, you purchase from these companies regularly because it is easy for you to purchase. It is an easy, a simple process for you to purchase or to establish a commercial relation with the company. Successful entrepreneurs are good at building easy, frictionless relationships with the market. So this is another important issue. But third, it's also important to be always looking outside. Something that people get to ask me every time, how can I become a more innovative entrepreneur? And usually I reply with the same answer. Well, actually, you should buy a plane ticket and travel. And people say, where to? To the Silicon Valley? I said, wherever you go, anywhere in the world where people are purchasing, are using the same kind of good or service that you want to provide. And why does that happen? Because being innovative is providing to the community of customers that you are connecting to a solution that they are not yet used to purchase, or it's not yet available to them. So regardless if you travel to China or to Africa or to the Silicon Valley, what you should find is a different approach on how providing to the community that you chose to work with. So being able to get an outlook, to look outside, to visit other countries, other cities, other regions, other cultures is extremely important for you to learn different ways to build the relationships and to understand a market role that you could use, that you could explore to provide to the customers that you chose. So these are the main aspects of becoming innovative: understanding the market, building easy relationships, and being able to be always looking outside to get outlooks, to bring new solutions or different perspectives to the customers that you choose to work with. So these were the 3 topics that I was willing to share with you tonight in our conversation, and I'd like to leave with you. These are my social network contacts. I usually develop and share content on entrepreneurship and innovation in these different channels 2 or 3 times a week on a regular basis. So it would be a pleasure to welcome you there. And I'm now ready, Susan, to take questions or to join my colleagues in the upcoming part of the session. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Renato. Indeed, thank you so much for your sharing, and the 3 points you shared was indeed very relevant to all of us who are aspiring to go into business or who are already in business. So before I open the floor to all 3 of you, there's one question for you, Renato. What would your advice be for pharmacists who are considering entrepreneurship? Because in your sharing, you mentioned that entrepreneurship is very important for the economy of the country. So yes, there are some that are considering business entrepreneurship. However, COVID happened and no one expected that. So that has sort of put like a break on their dreams or on their aspirations. So what would your advice be for aspiring pharmacists who want to venture into entrepreneurship but are affected by the pandemic?
Thank you very much for the question, Susan. There is a major recommendation for anyone who wants to become an entrepreneur. Start as soon as possible, and start as small as possible. And start as soon as possible, quick, and as small as possible, not spending too much money, not investing too much, not being too careful about the outcomes that you're going to produce. Because the culture, the entrepreneurial culture of the world in which we live today, is one that privileges the prototyping process, the testing process, and the learning from failure process. When I started my first company, I remember that my partner and I were terrified about the perspective of failing. of making a mistake, of customers not enjoying our service. It was a service at that time, not enjoying the service that we wanted to provide. And actually, I now see, 20 years later, that this was a mistaken approach. Actually, you should be ready to test as quick and as cheap as possible the idea that you have with actual customers that you want to serve, to make sure that they actually want what you want to provide them, and what are the gaps that you should fill, what are the failures that you should correct, what are the mistakes that you should avoid. So the main advice here, Susan, for you guys that are with us here tonight, would be that if you ever consider becoming an entrepreneur, so do it as quick as possible. Just one more comment on that. From time to time, I get asked by a senior executive, what would be the right, the best opportunity to explore as an entrepreneur? So I will share with you, less than a month ago, I had a meeting with a senior executive, a C-level executive from Microsoft here in Brazil. And this guy was asking me, so I'm considering to start a new enterprise, to quit my job and start a new enterprise. What would be the best opportunity for me to explore? What would you recommend me to do? And then I replied to him, I would recommend you to apply to become a C-level executive of Microsoft and give up on this idea of starting a small new venture to explore a great opportunity, because this is not the way how successful businesses are made. Successful businesses are not made out of the best ideas that are foreseen 20 years before the rest of the market and build successful companies. The best businesses are made out of entrepreneurs who start and go correcting, fixing their mistakes during the way as quick as possible, and approaching making their business look more and more as the customers want them to look. So do not be afraid of testing a new concept on a new idea if it's not 100% ready, if the packing is not the best that you could, if the raw material is not the best that you could get. Test your idea as quick as possible with a small amount of the market, and using as cheap as possible so that you don't waste too many resources as if you were wrong. And be able to learn from your experience. Be able to listen. Be able to approach your customers after the customer has purchased your product and service, and asking what was good, what was bad, how can I improve, what can I do better? Because from the market, you are going to learn what your customers expect, and getting your company closer to their expectations, you will be able to build a stronger business that will be less susceptible to other competitors to take your market away. So this would be the advice. Start as quick as possible, as cheap as possible.
Thank you so much, Renato. Well, panelists, we have got a few questions from our participants. So the first question is regarding MLM, multi-level marketing. So the question is, multi-level marketing is becoming more and more common even among pharmacists, who based on professional training will have to sway and persuade and attract customers to buy those products in order for them to become successful in MLM. So Mr. Loh, since you are a pharmacist, have you been exposed to such MLM business, and what is your take? Should pharmacists be involved in MLM?
Personally, I didn't conduct MLM during my pharmacy business, but I see MLM is also a form of business. It's also same that in providing service or products and the exchange of money. So it perfectly falls into the context of business, and it's also legally allowed in this country. Maybe it's not allowed in China, but in Malaysia it's fine. So I'm okay with it. It's a business, but I think the person who asked it might be concerned about the ethical issue. So in terms of ethical issue for pharmacists to be involved in this MLM, then we have to refer to Code of Ethics of Pharmacy of 2018, published by Lembaga Pharmacy, right? So you look into the Lembaga Pharmacy, I can see in front of my screen, one thing good about the online event. There are 7 principles regardless how you conduct the MLM, whether you sell the products in your shop or you recruit your customer or not recruit by just selling product wherever, whether in your shop or outside the shop. If you fulfill 7 principles, like first, make patient your first concern. Second, use professional judgment and the interest of your patient. Third, you show respect to others. Fourth, you encourage patient and public to participate in decision about their care. Fifth, you develop your professional knowledge and competence. Sixth, you ethical, honest and honesty. And 7, responsible for your working practice. So if you follow these 7 principles, I don't see any issue on this. But if you really break one of them and the Lembaga Pharmacy receive complaint, then you have to wait for a letter from Lembaga to see you soon. So this is my take on that.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Loh. Let's move on to the second question by Mr. Andrew. He asks all of you 3 this question. As an entrepreneur, how do you balance between professionalism and business? So maybe we start with Mr. Loh being a pharmacist. Maybe you can lay a bit of groundwork and understanding to what Mr. Andrew means by balancing professionalism and business. Then after that, we'll also get Jeanne and Renato to give their input. So Mr. Loh?
Okay, I think it shouldn't be a problem if your business is legal, right? So it should be still professional business. But I think person asking may refer to those health supplement sales by pharmacists, because many of these health supplements are not evidence-based. So you raise some concern by some research. Like I myself, some research background, that pharmacy may recommend something not evidence-based health supplement. So I think you want to be in this business and want to do it professionally. Of course, there are also a lot of products also evidence-based as well. It's whether you take your effort to go and study this product available in the market and recommend such product. On top of that, those doesn't have those evidence-based also doesn't mean that they doesn't work, because not many going to conduct the study on them as well. So I think we can achieve not a big issue. It's about how you see from a different perspective. I hope I answered that question.
Thank you very much, Mr. Loh. Jeanne, would you like to give your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm not sure what the context is from the person. But I read professionalism in business as...
There's some feedback sound. Okay, Mr. Loh, I get you to mute.
Some noises.
Cannot hear. Okay, it's gone. All right, great. So I was just saying professionalism. So it sounds like you cannot have professionalism and business together. So in my mind, I'm thinking, would not having professionalism be like, unethical practices, such as giving bribery, giving extra under the table, stuff like that. I think what I can share from my experience is I've seen people who do that and get the results. And I've also seen people who are very professional and get even more results, right? So I just want to encourage everyone that you can practice every single business professionally in Malaysia, right? So you can actually stand up to do that. I have real life examples that I have seen. Yeah, it may take some time for you to actually get there, but it is possible, because at the end of the day, people who are doing business ethically become your best friends, and they partner together in bigger projects after that, right? So it does take courage to actually let go of certain partnerships that you may have so that you can do business professionally and ethically. So I'm not sure. That's my take and sharing.
Thank you very much, Jeanne. I'd like to add to that. I like what you said, because for me, I think if we do things ethically, by principle and professionally, we can go to sleep peacefully every night, not having to worry that, maybe what I did is going to get me into trouble. So I think earning a good living is important, like earning money is important to ensure that we've got a good quality of life, but money is not the fundamental bottom line for everything. You know, not money cannot buy you good sleep at the end of the day. I think it's how you manage your business with integrity, with professionalism, with ethical principles. I think that's important. So Renato, how about you? We would like to hear from you. What's your take on this?
I think that both Loh and Jeanne have approached it in a very clever way. I'd like to bring another perspective when we talk about managing professionalism and business. Sometimes when you are starting a new venture, when you're starting a SME, it's extremely difficult to provide the same standards that large corporations provide. It is extremely difficult to compete with large corporations. And therefore, it usually gets perceived by the market, understood by the customers as lack of professionalism. But I like to also say that this is something that has been changing through the years. I had the opportunity to participate in a panel at Magic in Kuala Lumpur, where we approached this exact perspective, this exact point. Startups or SMEs that have just begun their businesses usually are not able to provide the same levels of quality or the same standards that high corporations are used to provide. So if this is one of the aspects of the question that was made, I don't get exactly the perspective of the person who asked the question, but if this is the concern, one important issue to say is that usually what small businesses are able to do that large corporations are never able to do is customization, is adapting your solution, tailoring your solution exactly to what the customer wants or needs. So you may compensate the lack of professionalism, lack of standard, of high-level standards that usually your stronger competitors have with personalization, customization, tailoring of your solution exactly to what your customer wants or needs. So this is the competitive advantage that small businesses have. So this is just another perspective, since Jeanne and Loh have covered the theme with in a very clever way. This is just another perspective to bring. Okay.
Thank you very much, Renato. Thank you, all three of you. And we have one more question by Mr. Sim. Just wondering if speakers would like to share their thoughts about SME, small medium enterprises, in the middle of the pandemic. So any thoughts on that? The positions of SME in the pandemic. Anyone?
Loh, you want to go first?
Please, Jeanne.
Okay, I can start. My thoughts about SME in the middle of pandemic. This has been a topic since the beginning of the pandemic. I would say those that have not pivoted, it's time to pivot. Those that have not gone digital, you have to go digital. There are people who are reluctant to. It's going to be very, very tough if you continue not to change your business to be on e-commerce mode or on digital mode. So I think my only thought and only encouragement is that SMEs by now, it's been a year and a half, need to understand, like what Renato was saying earlier, we gotta be flexible to change and continue to just evolve. Like your advice for people, just start your business as soon as possible, because actually being in a pandemic showcases your entrepreneurial skills right away. So if you're not willing to change to the daily changes, it's hard to be an entrepreneur. I'll just have to say it as bluntly as that. So SMEs who have been having a good time and finding it difficult, I guess it's time to be a little bit more entrepreneurial. Again, I'll stress my point. Don't do it alone. You've seen more than enough experts and gurus coming together to give free resources ever since the pandemic started. So if you have not taken a hold of all the resources from all angles and are hungry to ask, you better start doing that, right? So those are my thoughts, that real entrepreneurs are always hungry and always looking around for resources available and always networking, always asking for help, right? So those are my thoughts, because I've seen people who are like that continue to stay afloat.
Thank you, Jeanne.
May I?
Renato?
Yes, yes. Adding up to what Jeanne has just mentioned, which I fully agree, I'd like to say that, first of all, we are already almost 1.5 years into the pandemic. So the SMEs who are not capable of adapting perhaps are already dead. It's sad to say that, but this is probably the truth. SMEs who were not able to adapt to this new scenario probably have died already. And if you are here with us and you run a SME and you are not dead yet, probably you were able to deal with one of the most important issues that the pandemic has brought to the market, which is one of the 9 blocks of the business model canvas that Jeanne has shared with you earlier during her presentation, which is the distribution channels that you use. So let's understand that the pandemic has completely shuttered one of the blocks of any business model canvas, the distribution channels that you are going to use for your products or services. And for services, it is much more complicated than for products. It is easy to switch from one distribution channel to another when you have a product. For example, if you were selling non-prescriptable drugs, you could switch from a store to sell online. It is something easy to be done if you don't need medical clearance to sell it or to purchase it. So it's easy. But if you provide services, it is much more difficult to switch from an in-presence channel to an online channel. This is the main challenge. And my suggestion to the SMEs that are listening to us today and are not yet fully adapted to this new perspective that the pandemic has brought us, to the new normal that the pandemic has brought us, my suggestion would be focus on this block of your canvas, focus on this block of your business model, the distribution channel, and go find partners. Every crisis, we all know that, this is something we learned when we were children, every crisis is also an opportunity. In this moment, the major players on distribution channels are giving away several offers and opportunities for new customers, for B2B, for small business that want to partner with them. So this is the moment for you to think out of the box and think about new distribution channels for your business and approach large companies who can provide you the distribution channel that you need, because this is the moment where large corporations are offering opportunities for SMEs to connect to them and to sell. And because of that, I see companies that are not only SMEs that are not only surviving the pandemic. I see several SMEs that are growing in a much faster pace that they used to grow before the pandemic, because they were able to understand this switch on the distribution channel and to surf the new blue ocean that was open to them. Let's keep that in mind. There is no crisis that does not bring an opportunity together. If you are able to understand exactly where you are being hit, you are able to defend yourself and to strike back. So this, just like in martial arts, you are able to defend yourself and to strike back. Here, you must defend yourself on this block of your business model, the distribution channel, and you have to figure out how to strike back. If you're able to do that faster than your competitors, you're going to run over their market share. So this is an opportunity. Although we are already 1.5 years into the pandemic, and so perhaps the wiser entrepreneurs have already taken up advantage of this opportunity. The opportunity is still there, especially for the ones of you who want to export. because Malaysia has a well-developed market, and it's the possibility is that your competitors have already grew over your market share if you are not keen to switch your distribution channel yet. But there are other neighboring countries around Malaysia that are not so developed, and that could include opportunities for you to export either products or even services to these new markets. So it's time for you to think of new distribution channels and new geographic markets for you to accomplish. That would be my suggestion.
Thank you, Renato. Mr. Loh, would you like to add to that?
Yeah, I would like to respond from the context of retail, small, medium-sized retail business, because this is where I'm from. Okay? So many retail SME actually come to me saying that they are badly hit by pandemic. But sometimes I told them you have to be very truthful to yourself, because many retail SME have been actually facing a problem even before the pandemic, hit by those online sales and price competition. They are in a state of denial. So now when the pandemic come out, actually accelerate the situation and they blaming the pandemic. So my business principle is very simple: follow the money. So now the money flowing to those retail shops that have a good SOP to let the customer feel comfortable to shop in the place, having more option in getting their product like online or Mopis. So that's my take on that. And if you really feel to do that, I think it's okay to think out the box, because it's small, medium enterprise. It's easier for it to change. We have to change to other business. So that's my take on it.
Thank you very much. So there is one question from Chan, who asked this question: during this COVID-19 challenge, what innovative ideas can you suggest for pharmacists? So maybe we get one idea each from Jeanne, Renato, and also Loh. What innovative ideas can you suggest for pharmacists? Who would like to start?
I think still back to my basics principle. The idea I would look to, first of all, is to embrace the health digitalization. I think one of the things is that we have now a lot of these telemedicine operators come out. So I believe pharmacists will look into that if they are in the community pharmacies. Then pharmacy or not in the retail pharmacy can look into maybe health supplements or healthcare advice service. But basically, I would think that they have to be all operate in the online platform nowadays. Okay, Renato?
Yeah, I can just, I mean, if you're not having an online store, that is the first strategy. Beyond that, I think is to focus on your customers. What exactly do your customers want? What I found typically with retail pharmacies is you do what you always do, like what everybody else does. But nobody thinks about specifically focusing on specific audiences, because everyone is the same. So I'm just talking about the Malaysian context. Every single pharmacy I go in is the same. So if you can make your pharmacy different, I know you're gonna ask me, how can I make it different, right? It's quite a long session. We actually help people to change your product lines and your product packages. And so it's about the packaging. It's about what people see that is different from what you're selling right now. So if I can just give you a quick understanding, what I'm seeing right now is rows and rows of products on shelves. That's boring, right? So you're just fighting on price. So don't go down that path anymore. Stop it. And you put it on e-commerce, you're fighting on price again. Stop it. You got to think better than that. So if you can't be innovative outside of that, I think you need to get help. Get people who are more innovative to help you. So I guess I'm talking about, marketeers, business coaches, consultants of this nature, people who are out of the box, right? So you got to have packages. People don't want to have that shelves full of single products. Give me something, a package, a series of products that fit my needs. So let's say I'm targeting female audience. What is it that I need now? So go look into the issues that the people are having. People are having problems with stress, sleeplessness, no money. So what happens when there's no money? What ailments come when there's no money? All right, so all that. So can we cater something from your shop that fits that need? Can we give out some free products so that you get your name to be known? And then those that have money gets to know you to come back to buy more, right? I don't know. So you maybe have to have a campaign where you can help the society at the same time, but then you get sponsors from those who can afford. So it's a completely different game from what you're playing right now, right? The strategy is actually leveraging those who have to give to those who don't have. That's a huge strategy. And there are many different packages we can do from that, right? So yeah, I think I'll stop there. Just saying we can brainstorm all night and come up with completely new retail pharmacies that have not existed ever in Malaysia. So it doesn't matter if it's online, offline. It's about the idea, because you can build the offline store exactly like a special Disney World for pharmacy, you know, like, oh, I want to go there, I want to go there. Because you have fun stuff for me, you know, not like same old stuff. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Jeanne. A lot for us to think and process and sleep through, dream, new dreams. Renato, how about from you? Any ideas from Brazil?
Yes, no, I would just agree with what both of them have shared and say that now is the time to nail down your market to the most relevant niches that you are working with, and to try to tailor, to customize your solution to this kind of customer. And Jeanne has provided several examples on how to do that. I fully agree with what she has just mentioned.
Thank you so much. And we would like to thank the 3 panelists for sharing with us today, and sorry for going over time. But before we close this session, I'd just like to take the opportunity to announce the 3 winners who have won the coaching program with Sparks Asia, and each seat is actually worth 2,500 ringgit. Yeah. So use this opportunity to think about great ideas, to pivot yourself, to think out of the box and get some business mentoring. So the 3 winners are Shamila Satyanathan, Eunice Leong Suling, and Liu Hon Kin. And we also have another 2 winners who will win a hamper worth 450 ringgit, and they are Wong Yi Yang and Khatijah binti Muhammad Zulkifli. So the organizing committee will be the winners, and they'll be getting in touch with you on how you can redeem your prizes. So thank you everyone for joining us, and just give a clap to all our speakers today. It's glad to see all of you, and let's continue this conversation going, because you have got the context for Mr. Loh, Jeanne, and Renato. So let this be a session where the seed has been planted, but we have the responsibility to water it and to germinate, and hopefully to see some ideas come to fruition. So good night, everyone. Sleep tight, and we want to see you tomorrow morning for the next day of NPC.